Hi, my name is Demetria Geathers. I am the proud assistant principal of Sheehy Elementary School here in Tampa, Florida. I am also a national PTA fellow. Sheehy Elementary School is a school here in East Tampa. It is in a neighborhood that is predominantly marginalized due to socioeconomic status. Just a lot of needs and supports are needed to ensure that our schools are thriving in this community. We have about 400 scholars. Our scholars bring a vast, diverse, and robust intellect to our school, and they are just hungry to learn and to do what's best for our community. So when I think about standard two, communicate effectively, I think about the impact that strong communications have on our families and our students when the school and home partnership have a thriving, streamlined way of just communicating the needs of our community, communicating the data, where we are with our academics, our behaviors, our attendance, having those transparent conversations. That is what I see in that standard, just being very communicative about what's going on, action oriented, and having that ongoing dialogue. That is necessary to ensure that that standard is something that's thriving in your community. Always, always be transparent with our families and our students about what is it that we need to do to bridge these gaps. What is it that we need to do to ensure our partnership is strong and that it will impact students for many generations to come. So the methods that I have found to be successful to engage our families and to for outreach is newsletters, sending them things through their email, paper communications, verbal communications, but daily, weekly, and monthly. The monthly newsletters are always a good source for our families. They look forward to that. We oftentimes will translate like our newsletters into Spanish or Haitian Creole so that all families have access to it. When we push out our newsletters, we work really hard to make sure it's in every language that our students speak here at school. We also have an ELL teacher who reaches out to our parents, and she will push the information out in their native language as well to keep them informed on what's happening PTA and school-wide. The weekly communication, every Sunday we send a weekly update about what's happening here in our school, what meetings we have on campus, what academic meetings are happening, what testing's coming up. It's a constant communication with our parents, and they look forward to that communication to keep them aware of what's happening on campus, right? And to keep them informed so they can continue to make those informed decisions for their children. It's a partnership that must happen as far as communication to ensure that those methods are effective. To determine what communication preference works well for our families is to survey them, right? To ask them, how would you like for us to communicate with you about the school events, the weekly events, academics? And we found that they all like different forms of communication. So to bridge that gap and to ensure we are reaching the needs of every family on our campus, we send communication in multiple ways. We do phone calls, we do newsletters, we do text messages. So we do all those things, and then our families can choose what fits best for them when it comes to making sure communication meets their preference and their needs. So there's always a way, we communicate in so many ways that families have options when it comes to knowing what's happening on our campus. So what we've done, like in our weekly school newsletters, we always include a portion about PTA. We let our families know what's happening with PTA. There's like a PTA spotlight. We also use Facebook as a way to communicate with our families, and they love it. So we will always put like pictures of things that PTA has done on our campus so that our families can be very informed, not only verbally with words about what's happening on campus, but they can visually see it. They can see it through our videos or our pictures, and sometimes just a public service announcement from PTA. And our families tend to really appreciate that on our Facebook page. It's a partnership, right? We don't want it to look like two separate things that's happening with two different agendas. So our communication on our Facebook page is just one. So we'll just have Sheehy Elementary page, and it will include information from our PTA. The way we ensure that communication is a two-way street with our families and the community, we have an open door policy. Our families know they can come in, they can ask questions, they can email us, they can call us. They know that our doors are always open, to ensure that they're invited into our space, right? Because this is also their space. And so we want our families to feel safe and comfortable and know they can come in at any time to speak to us. So it's kind of like the norm that we've established early on, that this is a true partnership. It's a family school partnership, and we are an extension of their family. And so we want to make sure our space fits that narrative, and they know they can come on in and speak to us, email us, call us about anything. And if we don't get back to them right away, they can get a phone call back with at least 24 hours. So to ensure that our impact with communication is impactful, we've seen our attendance data go from good to great. Like, we have students coming to school on time. We have parents meeting us outside just to ask questions. We've seen a turnaround in our school attendance. And when students are in school learning, they're in seats learning, the data shows, right? And so we're really excited about what's happening with our attendance rate and making sure we're getting students in school often because of that communication piece. We started our school year off with an open house, very transparent with our families about what does it look like for our school to thrive and what we need from them as a family. And the big piece was attendance. We need you to help us get your scholar to school on time every day. So having that ongoing communication about what we need here at school, we now see the benefits of it. Had we not had that communication, I'm not sure we would see the benefits. But because we were so upfront, had a parent huddle, we call them a parent huddle, about our instructional goals for the year, our expectations, areas that we need to improve on, we've seen the impact of that. Every time we have the opportunity to get in front of our families and speak on our school-wide expectations, our goals, our instructional priorities, that is an opportunity to bring in our families. If we have a Christmas program or a spring program, we always utilize that opportunity for PTA president or even a student to speak to the body about what's happening on our campus. I think our most powerful tool is when our students can speak about what is going on in our school and the impact of families being present and having that open communication with the school. My advice to school partners that are looking to enhance communication partnerships a little better on that standard is just to have an open dialogue, right? Sit in a space that every voice matters. Sit in a space that everyone has different stories. And when we merge our stories together, it does impact our whole community. I think when we operate with that lens and that mindset that this is bigger than us, this is bigger than our school, but the impact that it has on a community, the platform for that dialogue to happen is authentic. And when we're able to show up authentically with our voices and our stories and our concerns, we are able to move forward together as a family and change so many things in our school systems for our kids. Communication is key, and sitting in that space that every voice matters really will propel that partnership with that standard.